What's going on, everybody in Collective? It's your boy Mex here for yet another episode 2. You all requested it, of Behind the Callout with your host, Coach Mex, and of course, Duckguy here with me. Duck, please introduce yourself.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Duckguy19. I'm a player on Miracle, co-host for the Behind the Callouts podcast, and this week we have a special guest, Jack FG.
Ooh,
Everybody.
is he here?
Yeah.
Jack.
Here.
Hello.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
Everybody.
Well, let me first and foremost start by saying welcome to the second episode of Behind the Callout, Jack. This has been pretty big. We got a little bit of a fan following. We got quite a bit of views on YouTube for this. So yeah, I'm glad people are watching this, and I'm glad we could bring this to you.
I mean, it's
I guess is what I gotta say.
It's a great idea. I'm happy that you guys have taken lead on it, and you're taking it seriously, and I think it's a great idea, and it's going well so far. I think we definitely need to keep it up.
That's what I plan on doing. Me and Duck both agree. As long as we got people to bring in here, we will keep the podcast going.
Yes, sirree. First up on the agenda, again, like the last week, we have both of the standing here from the National Siege Conference and the American Siege Conference. Mex, you want to take it away with your reactions first to the National Siege Conference?
Yeah, I mean, standings are looking just about where I thought they would be. Icon, thankfully, Chilled Reality now, hasn't lost another game. There was I believe it was a tie with New Horizon and another team last week. I can't remember what team they won against, but I know they did tie New Horizons. The IGL of that was a little bit upset. He said they got to get back onto the practice board, but hopefully, it doesn't upset him too much, take its head out of the game. F6, of course, still in first place, 5-0, undefeated champions. However, they will be going up against God Tier. That is going to be one of the players who are tied for second place in the league right now. And, yeah, I think that game is going to be it's going to be one to watch for sure. It's tomorrow, I believe. Yeah. So by the time you guys are seeing this, it's already going to go down. You guys are already going to know the outcome of that match. But for us, we don't know yet, as we are recording it here on Friday. Yeah, Friday. If I got my days right.
Yeah, it's Friday. It is Friday.
Okay. Just making sure. But yeah, so we don't know what the match is going to be like, but it's going to be a doozy. I feel it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, definitely.
Between both F6 and God Tier.
F6 has played Icon or Chilled Reality, and Chilled Reality has played God Tier. Now F6 and God Tier just need to play. I feel like those are the titans of the division, really. Reborn in New Horizons. A tough game. I wasn't casting that one, but I was watching it. And by the way, any teams that have an asterisk next to their name, those are teams that have joined the league late, and have taken over another team's record. That's correct, Jack, right?
It is correct.
Yeah, I believe in the case of Prime Elite here, they actually joined at the beginning of the season, but they took the place of the team the day before the league, or the night of the league starting actually. So that's why they still have an asterisk next to their name. But Centurion, Horizons, and I believe PTSD has unfortunately left us. Correct?
Yes. We're so late in the season, but it just so happened that PTSD and I think in the other division that decided to call it quits too, so we just kept it, and now we're at an even 10.
B3.
Yeah, that would have been B3.
It was B3.
So B3's out of it, and so is PTSD. So we just said, hey, we'll keep it at 10 teams per division and move on.
Yeah. So we have the top 4 right now if the playoffs did start today. F6, God Tier, Shadow Gaming, and Chilled Reality. That would make the playoffs. Personally, I think these will be the 4. I just think Icon or Chilled Reality and Shadow Gaming will probably switch spots. and where they are by the end of the season, I think. And I think also Reborn might make a final push to try and get ahead of Shadow Gaming, possibly, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're not doing too bad in the season. They're pretty steady so far.
Reborn was actually the team that tied with New Horizons that you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier. So, I mean, Reborn is really good. Kind of just stays quiet and does their thing and keeps on, doing well. And they don't cause a fuss. They don't expect a lot, but they do well. I mean, they're here to win, and I on them, and they shouldn't.
You want to talk about a team that gets slept on that I have been not letting be quiet on the other division is LGI.
Yeah,
I've talked about them. I've talked about them the first episode. I've hyped them up when I watched their game yet again. Still undefeated in their last match. They won undefeated as well. The only game they tied was against Prevail. And one more win for them, and they're going to be tied up again for first place. These dudes are just a powerhouse of that division so far. And Jack, being as you guys are right now in third place, how are you feeling as you watching just LGI rise right now? What started out to be, they were just kind of started out as the nobodies of your guys' division. Nobody really knew who they are. Now they're second place. Well, yeah, now they're second place. One game away from being tied for first.
I remember when I was making the standings, everybody was saying that NSC was like so stacked. They had so many teams, and I was like, I think there's a lot of sleepers in ASC, and LGI turned out to be one of them for sure. I thought there's a couple teams in there that I thought were going to do a lot better. I mean,
and we also have the unfortunate leave of CRL, now Noxious.
Yeah, Noxious is another team that I think if they started from the beginning, they would be up there, at least in the top 4, I think. And Saints Revival would be up there too. Adderall Rush just had a bad hand, and with their you guys talked about it all last episode, but
yeah.
And Maiden. I mean, Maiden's a great team. Teams in the ASC. It's going to be crazy. I mean, the last few weeks, and we're sitting in third, but we didn't get any points this past week, so we're kind of. And I think these last few weeks are going to be nuts, especially for the third and fourth place.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. One thing I believe that what was I gonna say?
What the hell? Oh, hi, Kat.
I believe Prevail should have 16 points, correct?
Should. There's an error with that graphic. They should have 16 points.
Yeah.
That's the only issue I could find with it. But yeah, that's looking good. We knew they'd come in strong.
Yeah, the collective content team doing work, pumping out top 5 highlights, pumping out this podcast right here. Not so top 10s. We also have one of those to look at, and we also have a top 5 montage to look at. So that should be fun later in the podcast. Anything else you guys really want to look at in the standings?
Not really. We covered the majority of it last week, I feel. I'm pretty sure anything we missed out, people in collective are going to let us know, like, you forgot this, you missed it out, and we'll probably get that next episode.
Yeah, and also just the fact that Adderall Rush, to me, they're 3-0 when they have their main 5 roster is just so bizarre to me. And like they're 0-3. 0-3 without because of 4v5s basically, and who knows if they actually got to play that game. I think at Adderall Rush with their main 5 every game, they're probably sitting 4-1. I think they're tied with Farside if they have their main 5 actually, which is kind of unfortunate for them.
I want to say, like, our only loss was to LGI, and we knew they were going to be good. The only team they played before was ZG, and I mean, they barely won. And we put some numbers on ZG, so we kind of thought, oh, we got this. But I mean, they read into our plays. They did really well. I guess hindsight's 20/20. But if we went back, I think if we had a rematch, it would be a little bit different. I know how to deal with them at this point and what to do. But I mean, they definitely have some killers on their team. They got some good players.
Who did take Zero Gravity's spot? Because I don't see them still.
I don't know. It would probably be
Saints.
Saints Revival. That's right. Yeah, it would be Saints Revival.
Okay.
Noxious took.
Noxious
Did
took.
Noxious win their first game?
Noxious took 0. No, Saints Revival beat them. Wait, what? I casted that game last night. It was 7-5. I don't remember who won though. I think
I
it was
have a funny
Noxious.
story about the LGI game, or the leading up to that game. Like a day or two before, I'm playing casual, like just messing around, and I see this guy on the other team, like his name's like Frax, or it's one of those names you see that has like crazy letters and stuff in it, and he's like sweating real hard, like going balls to the wall, and I'm just look at his gamer tag, and it's got the LGI logo on it, and I go, oh god, I gotta turn it up, and we're on plane, and it just goes from they're up 2-0. I pull out Ella and I start wall banging people, and I'm throwing Grismots. I'm getting 4Ks, and we bring it back when we win. And I added him as a friend, and I just at that point in time, I was like, I got to do it. I got to bring it. Play him in a couple days. I want them to recognize us. They still came back, and they still did a lot of work on us. So it really didn't matter, but it was just really funny. It's one of those things where you just run into people all the time from the collective in matchmaking. It's really strange.
Yeah, I think I played. I played someone. Oh, I don't remember the team now. I think it was LGI. I played one of them in casual one time when I was on my Smurf trying to get it leveled up.
Ew, Smurf.
It was somebody at the clan tag of my name though.
Ew, Smurf. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't qualify for it.
I was trying to get the clan tag in my name.
What I want to talk about is all the new teams that have showed up due to Jack. This man has been working overtime pulling teams into the collective. How many of you pulled in so far this last week?
I don't know, man.
I
really don't. I lost count. I lost count. I would say 10 or so 10? In the past 3 days.
Oh.
At least. Man. Probably more than that. I had a conversation where, yeah, it's probably about 10.
Right on. With that being said, more teams also brings in more commentators. We got like 4-5 new commentators in the last week, which that's always good as well. So yeah, glad to see that we're growing.
It's all about growth. It's all about, best place to play Siege on console. It's stick. We don't allow mouse and keyboard. We don't, allow cheating in any sort. All the teams are vetted. They're interviewed before they come in. It's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
All the recruiting practically does itself. Once you find the right people to talk to, I just say a couple things and sign me up.
All right. Well, that's all I had to say on that. And I guess let's move on.
I just did a little bit of searching. And we have had 8 new teams in the past 3 days.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Online too.
Yeah.
That looks
right on.
Do we want to look at this Twitch clip now of Not So Top 10?
Not So Top 10 plays? All right, but
I want to see it.
I was actually casting this game as well.
Ooh.
That's not good, but at least it's a dot that got down.
Yeah.
He had some choice words for him. He said some things to him.
Well, he was trying to shoot a drone, but then again, yeah, game awareness is everything. And I say this to a lot of teams that play. You got to have awareness of where your teammates are at. You can't just go shooting everywhere you want. I've seen way too many people get team killed just because they weren't aware of where their teammates were. I love how he just goes back to setting up. Yeah, he's just shooting upstairs into my brain just went numb.
Projector.
Yeah, thank you. Shooting upstairs in a projector to try. Like I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to set up there to get that door off on the main lobby, and then all of a sudden just tries to shoot that drone and it doesn't work. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Thank God it was a doc though, because if it wasn't a doc or they didn't have a doc on their team, it would have been very unfortunate. Another thing too, I've been noticing. Not a lot of teams play Doc anymore. They pick Rook over Doc, which is something I wanted to talk about. In this meta, when you only get 20 health on revive, you're practically already dead on revive if you get shot once. Why would you not bring a Doc on defense instead of that Rook? Like, if you're not bringing a Doc or a Rook in general and you're using something else in that spot, okay, I get that. Like, that's all right. But if you're going to choose a Rook over a Doc, like, why would you want to go down over getting, like, back to at least somewhat of a decent health for a gunfight? Like, you're still going to have that MP5. You're still going to have that ACOG. You're still going to have everything that Rook would have other than that body armor. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't understand why people pick that.
I think, like, if they don't pick one at all, like, no Rook or Doc, I think it's just because, like, Rook or Doc are in that, like, that +1 position that teams have. Like, we need a smoke, we need a maestro, like, et cetera. We need those players, we need a Jaeger. And then we have +1 for wine. Like, they'll either take the Rook or the Doc. I don't know. Our team normally runs a Doc instead of a Rook in that +1 situation if we want to run those, but right. I don't know the situation between teams who don't run that.
I'm not saying people, like, if you're not going to run it in general, like, if you already have your stack up, like, say you got a, Maestro, if you're lucky enough to have Mira as well at the same time, bring in, like, a Mira, and then just 3 others, either be Smoke, Legion, Pulse Visual, doesn't matter, whoever you're trying to bring, maybe Jaeger, and you're just not bringing that Rook or Doc, like, yeah, I totally understand. But if you're going to bring one anyways, you might as well bring Doc. He's going to be so much more useful in the long run than when with Rook. And then when I see him using it, like I see people in rank using it, like giving himself a stem shot before running out the front door to try to go for that run out. That just, oh man, that makes me sick. It really does. It's like, why would you do that?
The casual plays.
Right. Just, I was like, oh, the casual play. Look at this. Like, you just waste, and then they get shot up, and it's like, all right, now you just wasted the operator. You wasted 0 time on the clock. Clock is still at 2.5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't waste any time on the clock. You didn't even shoot a drone. And at the very most, they probably did like 10, 20 damage at the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on from that.
Yeah, next.
I was going to say that the main reason you're picking a Doc over a Rook is the impacts, I feel like.
Yeah.
Rook gets the impacts. Doc doesn't get them. Concerning factor, I think.
Right.
I mean, you're right.
And I usually would agree with that for the impact nades, but if you're going to bring other operators that have either shotguns or impact grenades, and I've seen this on many teams, you don't need that. Like, I've seen people bring Rook when they brought a Mira. And like a Legion setup. All right, you already got the 2 impact grenades from the Legion. You already got the shotgun from Mira to be able to set up. Like, why would you need that Rook still? You don't need that many impact grenades to set up sight.
And I would say in this lineup, I mean, they've got the smoke with the impacts and the shotgun, and they've got probably not needed to have the Rook, but a lot of times, at least with our team, I mean, our strats are pretty down to the last detail. So if you're bringing a Rook, there's probably a reason.
Yeah, I think in the minds of, I think this is noxious. Yes, this is noxious. Playing with the Smoke, Doc, Bandit, Rook, and Jaeger. And I think what they were just thinking was like, I talked about this a lot because I was casting this game, is they were just winning their gunfights, and I think they just wanted to try and stick to that, like with the Rook, Doc, 2 ACOGs, the Jaeger, Bandit, great guns, and then just Smoke, like just to have some plan denial. I think they just wanted to try and win their gunfights as much as possible here, and like because that was working for them, and stick to that.
See, that's the bad thing that I see about a lot of teams doing, is that they try to just rely strictly on their gunfights, and they're like, oh, this is great for some of the teams that are in the bottom tier of the league standings right now. Not to do anything against them or whatnot, not to discourage them or anything, but there's teams like out there like F6, like LGI, like Prevail that not only have gun skill but know how to counter your good gun skill with quick plant.
Yeah.
And when they get that plant down, what do you can't just rely on your gun skill at that point. Which, as someone who was playing sight, I don't see that often. So that was a good play.
Yeah, so this one's the Montang push I was talking about. Beautiful to watch from Titan. Whether you put him on the blitz, the Montang,
This is his 5K.
probably even the fuse shield. Yeah, this is an ace actually from Titan. Are you actually welding the pulse a bit downstairs?
And that he's calling out to me right now. Here's pulse, and then he gets him.
Yeah.
Oh, the Titan Monty ace?
Yeah.
I do remember this, actually.
This is a beautiful play.
That's the first ace I've seen by Montang, too.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, he does so well with Monty, but his callouts, I mean, they're good, but all you hear is over here, over here, over here, and he pings, or he's like on me. Oh yeah, this kill right here, that mirror should have been dead. That mirror should have been dead.
And after that.
I put like a whole clip into him. I didn't understand how that was possible, but
Were you getting open the mirror window there? Like opening up below?
Yeah, I was trying to hit the floor open to get the mirror, and because I even had a second to start shooting before he did, like a solid. He still got me. Damn,
nice.
That was a clean headshot. That was a clean headshot. I couldn't even imagine. I remember seeing it.
Actually, that was perfect.
Oh, yep, and then he pushes his mirror here, which they ended up countering the next round. I remember this because he tried doing the exact same thing the next round, and they ended up getting a good counter for that.
Did they put a C4 from below? Maybe was that the play?
I think so. It was either that or they had more pressure on that window. I just remember.
I think I was watching it when that happened, or maybe I was casting this game.
God, Ella's shotgun. You want to talk about an overpowered shotgun? It's
I love that shotgun. Like, it's actually unfair.
Oof. A little bit of potato from the mirror. As soon as I seen Titan get that last kill, I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching this, man. Like, this dude is putting in just monstrous work.
Were you hosting this game?
I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remembered it as soon as I seen that first play, I was like, yep, this was me. And I remember it too because it became down to that 1v1 with Titan in the blitz. I was like, there's no way. Like, that is just nuts. And then I was just seeing him, like, oh yeah, I can play for fun.
I mean, he's like right here. I'm just saying, no, stop what you're doing, like, because he's baiting him, and I know what he's doing, but like he's being like that, doing that is, I'm just freaking out. I'm like, stop.
That was risky because if Bandit would have gotten a flick there, like would have done at least like something, or if he would have got that stab off when needed, that would have been bad. But yeah, that was an insane ace. I remember that. I remember that kill for kill. That was the first Montang ace I've ever seen.
The thing is, he never should have been in that situation at the end. I mean, Alsa got it's the plant. The plant was going down.
Yep.
Alsa and Nomad were just they weren't. They were holding their position, Alsa especially, and then Nomad tried to go back into CC, and it just took way too long, and they needed to be there, a lot quicker, and they weren't. And then it just made for easy kills.
Yeah.
Yeah. This round has a lot from your team going on. You got the Maverick coordination, you have the Blitz coordination, the Dolka B coordination. It's actually really cool to watch. Really fun to watch. I was casting this game. It was a really interesting, like, just a whole round. It was very, very nice to watch because there was a lot of coordination going on between the teams.
And as we sit here in silence.
Yeah, I mean, Farside is right now where our roster is the strongest it's ever been. I've had some problems before the season started, and I picked up a lot of pretty much the whole team. We're really close with them. we've been scrim partners with them since, I don't know, like July of last year. We were all really good friends, so it was just a natural fit.
Your mic cut out for a second there when you said the team.
Index, which is
yeah.
basically Vert, Titan, Nomad,
Yeah.
and then Slayers on SG. We're all good friends, and we just work really well together. And I try to make
plays at all. I don't like you. I don't like you for using it. No shield plays for mechs can never kill people that use shields.
I remember that play when the Blitz was just blinding the Jaeger. I just thought to myself, that poor Jaeger, he probably hates his life right now.
Oh, I remember. I watched this game.
Yeah.
The best thing that Bandit could have done right there is just get super aggressive and just should have laid down when you were using that torch there. If he would have laid down earlier and got those shots off when he did, he would have been able to get that kill.
What I wanted the Bandit to do there, if he was running C4, I'm not sure if he was actually running C4. He was running C4. I wanted him to open up the top of the wall and just chuck that C4 through. I think he would have gotten at least a Maverick and like maybe
open.
Someone else. It was open.
It was open. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe he already used it. He'd already used it.
He'd already tried that maybe earlier.
No, yeah, probably.
You want to know something that I don't see anybody play or I don't see anybody do? When somebody's making a Maverick hole, just chuck the C4 at the Maverick hole. I'm not kidding. Like, let him start doing the line across and then do it on an open line where it's not obviously going to kill, destroy the C4. But just put it on that hole and blow it up. I've seen people get kills with that.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that.
It's harder than it looks because if you don't get it far enough through, then you might kill yourself or it might not even work.
Yeah, the only space where you can really do that is like if you're prone and they're making like a crouch line, then you can throw the C4 through. And as we're recording this, Collective Esports is live right now.
Oh, nice.
I got a notification on my phone. Yeah, so that was that clip. Interesting.
I wasn't in this game, but I was watching it, and then this was just really unfortunate timing. It was just a crazy week for us, and this was like the only day we could do it. But like Nomad was on spring break, and he went back home, and he's got a big family. And basically, Nomad was sitting in his only place he could get good enough internet to play like competitively was at his aunt's house. And all of his family was there. Like his family's from like Guatemala, so he's sitting in a room.
I remember that.
He's sitting in a room and like a stool, and he's got 11 people around him just yelling in Spanish. And then my team, and he's just muting himself and unmuting to make call-outs, and they were struggling so hard because they couldn't make call-outs or anything, and he just couldn't talk.
I remember that. Titan was like so pissed off in the interview after the game.
Oh yeah, and then there's a little bit of arguing going on, and it was just crazy. I mean, it was madness, but they still pulled it out, and Nomad said he's the GOAT for that. I mean, he could have easily said, guys, I got family, I can't do it, but he stepped up and he really helped us out. It was really great of him to do that.
Yeah, great of Nomad there. I can just imagine the comments.
I've heard stories of him playing with Titan in a car.
What?
Out of the back of someone's car.
How?
I don't know, but they had like a TV and an Xbox set up and like somehow had internet going. So,
see, what I'm hearing from this is FG wins games when Jack's not on the team. That is my final verdict.
We also win them when I am with the team.
Jack?
We also win them when I am with the team. Strange places.
Oh, yeah. Also, when Nomad is playing in strange places.
We just gotta get Nomad to play in, like, a hotel room. Gotta get Nomad to play in, like, a, Where should Nomad play?
Premium Parlor. A Baskin Robbins.
Yo, let's get some comments down below. Be sure to like.
Nerox should play next.
To like and subscribe.
Yeah, playing like a Ferris wheel or something.
Playing a Ferris wheel.
But
on a roller coaster.
You're right. They can win without me, and I have my times where, I mean, lately I haven't really shown up in league yet, but I have my days where I do brag out. But I think
He's like Fabian. We just need to bring a lane, and he's gonna drop like 22 kills.
Oh, you don't need me. I tell him, like, you don't need me to do well. And then I try to give him, I like playing with the roster. I mean, we have 9 people. We all have good players. So I like mixing it up and seeing what works, which is what we're going to do this. We play Saturday and then on Monday. So we got a crazy couple of days coming up. But, I talk to him, and what happens when I'm not there, at least what I'm told, is it just goes into madness. And I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, they start arguing. So I'm kind of there to help on drone, and I spend a lot of time making callouts, and it really helps. So
you're that dove in the sky that's trying to like get everyone to chill out.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of emotional management going on there too. There's a lot of people start arguing, and I try to shut it down as quickly as possible and stuff like that. So I do a lot of that, and sometimes I do have my moments where I do get a bunch of kills, but the stuff behind the scenes is really where I excel.
Yeah.
You see how I tried to just roast this man, and all he does is come back with the most humble reply I've ever heard in my entire life. That's not fair, Joe. That's not. I'm here for comedic relief. I'm here for content. That's my one job, and you took that away from me. I'm offended. Jeez.
I'll tell it like it is. I mean, when Nomad joined the Farside squad, I was like, listen, man, I'm never going to be as good gun skill wise as you, but I can help you with some timing. I can help you with some other things. People on my team in a position to succeed and get kills. And when we're in, where guys aren't fragging out, I just tell them, I say, hey man, what's going on? Pap, I'm not talking shit or anything. I'm just saying, hey, what can we do to make you do better? Is there anything we can do? Do you need to go back to site? Do you need to switch? I mean, what do we need to do to make you get some more kills or have a better time?
You know what, Jack? You know what I'm gonna give you? I'm gonna give you something I would pray that I would never have to give you, but because of that humble reply, Raven hooked him up with the seal of approval.
You just imagine a giant stamp on the screen.
Exciting things are playing in the background, and a big seal comes up on the screen. Yeah, and he's just a big. I didn't want to give it to you, but because of that humble reply, I give you Mex's seal of approval. But you're not always honest all the time. You once said I was a good caster, and that is garbage. And moving on now.
Best caster we have, Max.
False. That is mad false. Moving on. Do we have anything? And I'm gonna let you bring it up because I don't want to say anything and then get in trouble because I'm on thin ice apparently. Is there anything in the admin related that we need to discuss with people before I say my thing?
Are Mozzie and Good Luck being brought in soon? Because, your boy's not an admin yet, so, he's not in the admin discussions with that, and he's mega sad.
I think we're still holding off. I mean, from what I've seen, and this isn't really my players kind of deal, because he kind of gets the final say on these things. I trust his decisions on these, but I mean, Mozzie, in our opinion, is not any trouble at all. And honestly, if you're picking Mozzie, I mean, good luck. He's a lot of work to manage correctly. He's a fun op to play, no doubt, but a lot of work. Gridlock is the one we're concerned about, and if you use it in the right way, she can be OP. I was on that side where I was like, dude, she's ridiculous. But after playing with her a bit, I think that you would have to mold your lineup to make her OP.
Yeah, I've been 50-50. I'm kind of with Slayer and also Reapers at the moment right now with Gridlock. Until her gadget does less damage per tick, I'm still on letting her just sit out for a little bit, at least for here. That was just my vote on it. Again, agreed. I don't feel like Mozzie is overpowered at all.
No, I mean, I think we're trying to figure that out, and we've got other things coming down the line. Goes I think we're going to end up doing a mini tournament starting at the end of the season, probably going into preseason, and then we might do 1 or 2 more. We have all these new teams coming in here. We have to see how they play. We have to gauge their skill level. We have to screen them for mouse and keyboard and cheating and just general toxicity. So there's all these sort of things that we have to do before season 2 starts. I mean, there's definitely going to be some changes. Isn't good changes. Pay attention to the Instagram. Especially next week and the following weeks to come. I mean, our Instagram is about to really pick up. I think we got some really good stats coming. I think everyone's going to like seeing the stat graphics that are going to be coming through the Instagram pretty soon. I mean, I was floored when I saw what was coming out of the stats department.
Dude,
so.
I tried to do most played operators, and okay, you know the week that I told you, like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is easy. That was the week I was on break from school. I was like, yeah, this is easy. I didn't realize to myself that I'm on break. I don't have school or anything.
Oh, it's when you were saying that, I was like, are you sure? Because this is
it's a lot of work.
So, but we got. I think the approach is many hands make light work. We just need to get people watching the games and taking notes, and easy peasy.
Yeah.
I think
Big things to expect when playoffs come.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm a real turn it up when playoffs come, dude. I'm gonna do cost. You know what? For playoffs, for all of you guys, I will do cost. If you don't know what cost is, it's basically it's the percentage of how many rounds you're influenced per game. So it's in each round detects if you get a kill, if you do the objective, so plan or defuse, if you survive to the end of round, or if you trade. When you die, if you trade out yourself. Yeah, I'll do cost for playoffs. Because it's the playoffs. That's a guarantee.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will. I think we're about to have cost for every game.
Huh?
We need you. We definitely need you to help out.
If we can do that, I'd be down.
Help.
People taking notes, but Max, did you have something that you wanted to bring up or talk about?
Oh, dude, definitely. For instance, I am still by far the cutest man alive. And then also on top of that, because we're just gonna leave that one to the side, I am. Oh, my mind just went blank. No, it didn't. Okay, so one last thing I was gonna bring up before we go, was the coin toss thing, and if that was okay to announce that or not. The change that happened to coin toss for those teams that are still unsure of everything, since we haven't officially put an announcement out.
I'm so confused.
Go ahead.
I'm confused.
Okay, so with the introduction of the new bot that we have, RIP to the bot in general, by the way, that got abused so fast.
Wait, what was the bot?
There was a bot that we had, and that got just abused in a matter of like an hour, and it was so bad, and we had to get rid of it.
What did the bot do?
8-ball.
Right. It was like a magic 8-ball and stuff like that. It was fun.
So anyways, with that, there is a new system. Instead of like taking pictures of the coin now, like flipping heads or tails and take a picture, we have a new bot in game day where we'll say flip, and it'll flip the coin and it'll decide heads and tails. Also, with that being said, for those of you who don't know, a couple weeks after the beginning of the season, I noticed whoever picked the first map ban didn't get to pick the last map ban. So essentially what would happen is we would have whoever won the coin toss either pick the first map to ban, or they would get to pick the first side, like if they get to attack or defend first. Usually, and I would say usually, like 100% of the time, people would pick the first side, meaning that they would either choose attack or defend first. And so the other team would pick the first map to ban. Well, that being said, once they got down to the last two maps, whoever picked the first side would end up getting the final say on what map they were going to play when there was two maps left.
Yeah.
So now we have it, whoever wins the coin toss not only picks the first side, like they pick who they do defense or attack first, they also pick to ban the first map. So that way, when it comes down to the last two maps, whoever lost the coin toss at least gets to pick the final map that gets to be played. So say if it's like between Clubhouse and Consulate, they're going to be whoever lost the coin toss will be the one to choose if it's either Clubhouse or Consulate.
Can we choose though? Because like I'm someone who does game day channel. I personally thought the system like at the beginning of the season was kind of broken. I was confused because like I won the coin toss for the first 3 games of the season. I was like, yeah, this is kind of broken. I get to choose the side and the map.
Yep. So
but I have one question. So like, if you choose, can you choose? Because like on one side you can either ban last, or you could ban first and choose side. So like, can you choose between those? Because like, say I want to ban second.
Yes, you can choose if you'd like to do that. If you would like to be the person, like you'd have to let me know because usually I just say, okay, pick a side and map. But I guess if you really wanted to request that, like if you wanted your opponent to be able to pick, what side they wanted to do, like attack or defend first, or you could pick the final map ban and be able to choose the final map, then yeah, go for it. Feel free. Just make sure to let us know beforehand.
Yeah, because that's something I was kind of confused on.
Other than that, though, I also want to say welcome to all the new commentators that have joined commentating. Can't wait to work with you guys. You guys are all newbies right now, but after a few games, we'll find the right place to put you in.
I think I can list them all off.
What was that?
And can I list them all off?
Yeah.
It's
not that many.
It's actually a decent amount. In the past 10
It's
days.
a decent amount, but it's not like enough to take up 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past 20 days, we have Prime Athena, Vice President Lick Biden, we call him Nurox.
Malik.
Yeah, Malik. Salty Boy, Sizzler, Amber PV, and Rainbow Six Caster has joined. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the past 10 days. 7 new casters, so that's pretty good.
And we will be making sure to get them into a bunch of games. Also, another thing I want to know, because I have been getting a lot of messages, and I mean a lot of messages for it, especially like in the last couple of weeks, especially with all these new teams coming in that want to get their scrims recorded and want to get into play. Make sure to check the scheduling for that day and see if there's a league game or a league match that's going on during your guys' scrim. Because 9 times out of 10, most likely if there's a league game going on during your guys' scrim, we probably won't be able to get it, cast it onto the channel. Now, I'm not saying all the time because I will put out a post and if someone volunteers or if you can find someone else to record it, we can do that. 1 second.
Okay. I will pick up where Max left off, but you can find hosts or you can find someone to cast it on their own side channel if you really want to cast it. Host.
And if you message me too, I will put out a post. Like I'll put out a post and say, hey, is anyone want to record or do a scrim today? Especially if we have an off day, I'll be like, feel free to get that practice in, get some scrims in. We can do it on the collective side channel. So always make sure to do that. But yeah, it's really up to them. And also if there is a league game, because mostly people want to do the league games over the scrim games. I'm not sure if my mic's didn't cut out there, but yeah, mostly they want to do the league games over the scrim games because it's kind of like, I guess, more exciting to them as well. But yeah, so just thought I'd get that out there because I've been getting a lot of messages on that lately.
Yeah, so if you want your scrims stream, just ask Max about it. We are running short on time here. And I believe we are going to need to end the podcast soon.
Yes. This
is the 2nd episode of the Behind the Callouts podcast. The first episode was with our wonderful T, or F6 Damage. This time we had Jack from Farside Gaming, both wonderful teams in the collective. This is myself, Duckguy19, with my other host, Coach Mex. I had a great time with you, Max and Jack. I don't know about you guys. It was very fun.
That was great. I'm looking forward to coming back again if you guys will have me.
Yeah, it's a great podcast.
I will get you back in here if you tell me what your real age is. Is it 43?
It's actually 57.
50? Damn it. I was so close.
I'm a couple of years off retirement, so I'm really looking
He is the oldest man of Collective, right next to Serb. But we need to get you, Serbian, and Reapers in here. That's what we need to do.
I'm actually used to the 3, I think.
We'll call it behind retirement.
Us we need to get in a retirement home together and just make our own squad and just start wrecking people.
Swear to God, bro. You know, I already know what you got. I already know what your team will, what your team name will be, dude. It's just the Golden Girls. I got you, bro.
All right,
I got you, bro. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this because I know we've been getting fans of requests, many requests actually for the second episode. I've been getting messages for that. So thank you guys for the love and support for everybody that's been coming out watching our podcast and showing love and all that. Make sure to show some love and support in Collective as well by following us on all of our social medias at collective_esports on both Twitch and Instagram and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow if you guys want to show us some love. And it's going to be collect_esports. Not collective, but collect_esports on Twitter. Make sure to give us a follow on there too. And yeah, just stay active in Collective for any upcoming games, events, podcasts, and anything else we got coming up, as well as get ready for playoffs, which is right around the corner. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, other than that, like Duck said, he's been Duck, I've been Mex, and we'll make sure to he's been Jack. And yeah, we'll make sure to see you guys next time on episode 3 of Behind the Callout.
Planting. Looks like the smoke grenades. I'm not sure if these will take it out. And the plant does go down, but Juicy and the Maestro Cam combined take out the plant.